What's going on YouTube? This is Devin coming back at you with another video today on Pups on Pimp TG. Glad to have you here. Today we're going to be looking at Optimus Prime Hero and his backside Optimus Prime Autobot leader. Recently I did make a video on Megatron, so if you want to check that out, I'll post the link above. So like all the Transformers, he does have that more than meets the eye cost, and at the beginning of each end step you bolster one. When Optimus Prime dies, return it to the battlefield converted under its owner's control. On his Autobot leader side, he does have living metal and has trample. Whenever you attack, bolster 2. The chosen creature gains trample until end of turn. When that creature deals combat damage to a player this turn, convert Optimus Prime. If there's one thing you do need to know about Optimus Prime, it is that he's a really fantastic leader, especially with the Autobots. He gives so many inspiring speeches, and bolstering his allies is just something that he just does on a daily occurrence. So I see that as an absolute flavor win. Also, huge flavor win for him getting resurrected, because he does get resurrected multiple times. Besides the first movie though, that was honestly really sad though, so I don't want to go that far. So because Optimus Prime wants to bolster his allies, we want to talk about some of his allies we want to have in this deck list. Like the Megatron video, I'm only adding Autobots into this list that fit Optimus Prime's color, so you might see some of your classic favorite heroes, but you might not see everybody because they don't fit in his color theme. So we have some of the classic Autobots like Prowl, Ratchet, Jetfire, RC, and Goldbug. Also, a lot of you are probably wondering where is Bumblebee. So Goldbug is actually Bumblebee. It's an upgraded version of Bumblebee. He was badly injured during the Hate Plague outbreak, and so he had to rebuild a new form called Goldbug, so that's why that's there. I did want to point out a couple of Autobots that really fit well with Optimus Prime. We do have Jetfire. He does have that ability of removing one or more 1/1 counters from among artifacts you control. Target player adds that much colorless mana. This mana can't be spent to cast non-artifact spells, so this is really great in this deck because we're going to be bolstering our allies, getting 1/1 counters, so might as well use them for mana if we have nothing else to use them for. I do also like RC in this deck because you could pay 1 and remove 1 or more 1/1 counters from RC. It deals that much damage to target creature. So if you have a lot of counters and there's a pesky creature on the board, you could easily use that mana to take care of those pesky creatures. So when making this deck, I tried to figure out what kind of way and what kind of strategy I wanted to go, because I feel like Optimus could go many different ways, but I thought about going modular. Because Optimus Prime is going 1/1 counters theme, and in artifacts we might as well use this kind of strategy as well. We have Arcbound Crusher, Arcbound Shikari, Zabaz the Glimmer Wasp, and Arcbound Ravager. I do like modular in this deck for a multitude of reasons. I do like how it just pumps up all your modular creatures, and when they leave the field you can put 1/1 counters on your team as well. So I think these are really great in this deck to pump up your Autobots. So let's also talk about artifact creatures, because we did have modular. We might as well add some artifact creatures to help our game plan. We do have Steel Overseer, Lion Sash, Bronze Guardian, Esper Sentinel, and Iron Soul Enforcer. These are all really quite fantastic in this deck. Steel Overseer will continuously put 1/1 counters on all artifact creatures we control. Lion Sash will help with Graveyard Hate, and if you want to attach him to Optimus Prime and then make Optimus Prime really huge, you could do that as well. Bronze Guardian is absolutely incredible. I love it for its ward ability and giving other artifacts you control have ward too, so that's extra protection there. And it does have double strike, and we're going to have a lot of artifacts in this deck, so it's going to get really huge really fast as well. And with Esper Sentinel being a 1/1, with Optimus Prime bolstering all our allies, he's going to get bolstered a lot. So Esper Sentinel, instead of taxing for 1 mana, it's going to be taxing for a lot more after that. Also, I thought I would add Iron Soul Enforcer in here because you could return artifact card from your graveyard to the battlefield, so this is perfect in this deck if you want to have that recursion as well. So now that we talked about artifact creatures we want to put 1/1 counters on them, we want to benefit from those 1/1 counters as well. So the first card I thought about with benefiting with 1/1 counters was actually Herald of the Secret Streams. Creatures you control with 1/1 counters can't be blocked, so this is perfect in this deck because we want to be connecting with our Autobots and our other artifact creatures, so why not with this? Also, when thinking of Bolster, I thought of Khans of Tarkir, specifically with the Abzan. So there's a couple cards that really work with the 1/1 counters as well. We have Anoint Bond Kin, Abzan Battle Priest, and Abzan Falconer. So we'll have one that gives First Strike to all our creatures, one that gives Lifelink to all our creatures, and one that will give Flying to all our creatures when they have 1/1 counters on it. So this is absolutely perfect in the deck just to give our creatures a little bit more of a boost. Also similar to Abzan Falconer, we do have Sapphire Drake, which will give Flying to all our creatures with 1/1 counters on them. So what other ways can we benefit from our 1/1 counters aside from anthems like these? So we have cards that modify our Transformers. Because Transformers modify themselves constantly, this is a perfect fit fit for the deck as well. We have Thundering Raiju. Whenever it attacks, put a 1/1 counter on a target creature you control. Then Thundering Raiju deals X damage to each opponent, where X is the number of modified creatures you control other than Thundering Raiju. Also, we might as well throw an extra combat with a key battle squad as well. Whenever one or more modified creatures you control attack, untap all modified creatures you control. There's an additional combat phase. It only happens once though, but this could do some damage for sure. Also, we do have Walking Skyscraper, or should I say Metroplex, because this spell costs 1 less for each modified creature you control. It has trample and it has hexproof as long as it's untapped. So if you're not familiar with Metroplex, Metroplex is essentially a walking city and a battle headquarters for the Autobots. So this is perfect fit right here because it's a walking skyscraper, so why not add it in there? We also do have Ambitious Assault, which creatures you control get +2/+0 until end of turn, and if they're modified, you get to draw a card as well. So I think I like that because we're going to be attacking a lot in this deck as well. I also thought I would add Goro Goro, Disciple of Ryusei, because it will give our creatures haste, and also it will create a 5/5 red dragon creature token as well, as long as you're attacking with a modified creature. So this is perfect for the deck as well. So continuing in the spirit of Kamigawa Neon Dynasty, we do also have some great vehicle options as well that came out of the Shorikai Precon. Because Transformers are robots in disguise, yeah, I said the line. But anyways, we want to assemble Omega Supreme. If you don't know who Omega Supreme is, he's one of the mightiest Cybertronian warriors of all time, so adding him into this list would be perfect. Unfortunately, they did not make him, so we're going to take matters into our own hand and create Omega Supreme in this deck. So I did add a couple vehicles from Kamigawa into this list, like Shorikai Genesis Engine and Reckoner Bankbuster. These will all provide us card draw right here. Also, I did think of Mindlink Mech and Imposter Mech as well, because they'll become copies of creatures as well, so I thought that was a good include. Since we do have a good number of vehicles in this deck because of the Autobots, we do also want to add Search Hacker Mech. It could be a good source of removal because when it enters the battlefield, it deals damage equal to twice the number of vehicles you control to target creature or planeswalker an opponent controls, so really great right there. I also did think to have Cyberdrive Awakener in this deck because other artifact creatures you control will have flying, so all our Autobots will have flying in this deck, and when it enters the battlefield, until end of turn, each non-creature artifact you control becomes an artifact creature with base power and toughness 4/4. So I mentioned at the beginning of this part of the video that I wanted to assemble Omega Supreme. So how are we going to do that? A lot of you are probably familiar with Devastator and Transformers from probably the Transformers movie, the second one, where they all combine into one giant machine. This is very similar with Omega Supreme, where there's a couple of Transformers that come into Omega Supreme as well. So to add to the spirit of that flavor, Mech Titan Core is absolutely perfect because you can exile 4 other artifacts and itself to make a 10/10 construct artifact creature called Mech Titan. It has all colors and has flying, vigilance, trample, lifelink, and haste. I know this is a pretty janky strategy, but I think it's really fun and flavorful for Transformers, so I thought I had to include it into the deck. So again, I want to thank you guys so much for coming by and watching this video. I think Optimus Prime Hero is a pretty fun commander and honestly really flavorful for what he does. But let me know down below, what do you think of Optimus Prime Hero? I personally like Megatron a little better because I like his artifact sacrifice theme and gaining mana on top of that. But I think Optimus Prime is a pretty fun commander if you want to build him yourself. So make sure to like, share, and subscribe. That's definitely the best way to support the channel. And with that out of the way, thank you for stomping by.